Well, hello, weirdos. Welcome to season 5.
We did.
We were so close.
Yeah, in fairness, we did do an episode, a long one. It was almost like 2 hours long before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it was lost or if you were just too afraid to put it up. So you told me it was lost.
I got scared. I got scared.
I knew that would be the case.
But what I will say that I called my mother-in-law a cunt to her face, and it didn't go down well.
In your defense,
but
it was being a cunt. It was not.
Yeah.
So is that all sorted out
so
now? Is this situation solved? Are you best of friends again?
No. But so that's okay with me.
She's still trying to ruin your marriage then.
Yeah, of course. But
she was doing that before anyway.
It's the spice of life. Oh, here we go. Good. We're off to a good start. If you ask me for time on Fortnite,
I'm not. Could I just do a quick vacuum of my room?
No. hasn't cleaned his room in 11 years, and now you turn on your podcast.
He wants to do it now.
To vacuum the room. Yeah. He was coming in to ask
and I got
about
one
Fortnite.
of those.
That's what he was coming in for. And then you were like, "You're not going to ask about Fortnite." And he's like, was going to ask if I could vacuum my room. Thinking
my room? I was again. Every time I get home, it's not, "Oh, Dad, it's nice to see you." It's, "Dad, you have more time on Fortnite." So I'm not a fan of Fortnite. I mean, it gives me an hour of peace. I've set it for 1 hour a day.
It's a really stupid game.
Oh, man.
It's really, really stupid.
Well, they make it addictive for it's literally addictive.
Yeah, it's
children.
like
and maybe
it's
adults.
psychologically addictive, but it's like crack cocaine for children, and it's lots of bright colors, and they get to feel like these instant hits of dopamine, and then they don't want to do anything else. It's the worst.
Yeah, that's all he wants to do.
Have you seen all the like sludge videos on TikTok that some bot is putting up? And they're basically this bot or person who owns the bot has figured out that people just want to be constantly distracted. So it's like instead of actively watching something, they're these sludge videos that are designed for passive watching. So on each video, there are like 3 or 4 screens. One is like somebody playing, I don't know what it's called, but it's like Subway Jumper or something. The other screen is like one of those satisfying ASMR videos. And then on one screen is just basically copied content from Family Guy playing on, And so everybody's like watching these videos beginning to end because you never have to look away. If you get bored of one, you look at another one and you look at the other one. And it's just like, I mean, their attention spans are already so bad. They can't even read a page of a book. And now it's going to be like, they can't even read a sentence.
There's very little that I don't passively watch now. I'm always doing something else. It has to be something really, really good to have my attention. I made the error of going to the new Avatar movie.
Oh, yeah, that didn't look very good to me.
Oh, gosh. It was
cringy.
So long.
Cringy and stupid was what I thought
the longest.
Well,
yeah, it was like, okay, take the storyline from the last one and then make it in water instead of trees.
That sounds really boring.
It was,
the first one was visually pleasing because it was like unique, but at the same time, it was a CGI wankfest. You knew nothing was real. You knew it was just like watching a cartoon. I watched it once. I bought it on DVD because I wanted to see it in 3D. Remember when 3D TVs were a thing?
TVs,
My TV, like the first flat screen I ever bought when I became a real doctor, was a 3D 1080p television. And I bought that Blu-ray to watch in 3D. But I put it on.
Did you ever watch it in 3D?
Well, I did. But
I've got an Amazon package arriving now.
No, good.
It's just like nothing ever happens in my house, and then we try to record, and
yeah.
But Who cares?
Well,
really?
Mom can get the door. She's there. She's been there for 3 months.
Yeah.
Surely she's comfortable enough to
2
get
months.
the door. Oh, yeah. I guess the other thing that is new is that I did start drinking again. I'd been sober.
Good. Well,
I've been sober
that
since
was,
March. and then I was like...
I mean, it was a sad state of affairs. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get home kind of when Mum goes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just come by myself for a couple of weeks.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Before I start my journey. We're thinking about going into business. So
Yes, I heard.
I'll never be able to come home again. Yeah.
Well, you will as soon as your business goes out of business.
And as soon as my business suspiciously burns down.
All right, where's the owner? He's on a different continent. What I was going to say, though, before I get too far into this, is that I've started drinking this Liquid Death water. I don't know if you've ever had it. I think Steve-O sponsors it. It's like his brand. But I'm pretty sure it's made for people who are recovering from alcoholism. But, where I'm drinking, I'm not drinking a lot. Like, I'll just have a little bit. So I really like this water.
Does it just taste really bad?
The Liquid Death water? No, it's good. It's good water. It comes in a can.
Wait,
it looks like
it
looks like a
alcohol in
tall
it?
boy. No, it's just water. It's literally
so
just.
you're not drinking?
Oh no, I have scotch too, but I'll have a scotch and then I'll drink one of these waters for the rest of the night, and it feels like you're having a beer, but it tastes like water.
It just has a flavor, but it's not.
No
It's
flavor.
got a flavor to it.
Just
So
water, just straight up water, just like Aquafina water. Only it comes in a can. That's like a beer can, and for whatever reason, to me, it's like having a drink. I think the ritual of the tall boy can. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, we're not
That sounds
obviously
like a waste of money.
obviously all three listeners who might listen to this. We're not sponsored by Liquid Death Water, but
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a terrible marketing. Well, obviously it worked actually, so maybe it's a great marketing ploy.
yeah, you know what?
Sounds like
Where I got into it was
expensive
in Florida. Chrissy and I went down to Florida in November, and I wasn't drinking.
They're like, that's a strive from the swamp out of the bay.
Well, I got in. They had it at the 7-Eleven across the street, and it's great. Yeah, it's a good substitute. I hate fake beer. I've been like trying to find. There's one called Corona Sunbrew that's actually it tastes like beer. It tastes pretty good. All the other ones are too
I don't
foamy.
understand. Like,
I'd rather have the water.
I don't understand the near beer phase. Like, I don't like. I get it that you want to feel like you're having a beer, but.
Well, I'll tell you, in March,
have water.
I just desperately wanted the taste of alcohol. Like, I was probably drinking way too much leading up to that. But I was like, I just need anything that tastes like alcohol. I bought this Proxy wine that uses black tea and all these, like, herbal supplements, and it says it, like, tastes like wine. It tastes like shit. It tastes nothing like wine. It's like drinking tea mixed with, I don't know, shit, I guess, is the best word. It's gross. It
We
tastes
get
like
it right from the swamp out the back.
sulfurous tea. It's terrible. And
Do you
then,
remember Uncle Bill's well was in a sulfur mine? Like
Oh,
it was
yeah.
in a sulfur vein.
that was the
and
first place I'd
all of-
been that had sulfur water. But, all that area, New Hartford or whatever it's called, all has sulfur water. Like Pulley Mountain has sulfur water. So it smells super farty. And
So
my friend
gross.
Greg owned a cottage down on the water, and it was beautiful. It looked a lot like my fishing camp. It was 2 camps, kind of connected, and it was down on Means Cove area, and it was on the water. And you would think like it was a huge property. You would think it's worth $1 million, but the water was so egg farty that I think they sold it for like $200,000.
Is it good for your skin or anything, or is it just stinky water?
I think that would be like a marketing ploy to get people to buy farty smelling water, but I think to me it's just farty smelling. I don't know, you know what it might be good for? It might be indicative that there's like natural gas that you could buy a property that has farty smelling water and then drill for methane. I don't know. Because I'm not
Then
sure it's sulfur.
lose your
Maybe it is
property.
gas. Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
lose
I'll
your
tell you.
property to the shale gas companies.
I'll tell you what, you have no rights to your own gas exploration here. So
No,
if they
there's
find,
no clampets anymore.
yeah, you can't be a Jed Clampett.
No.
Yeah, if you find natural gas in the ground in your house, some company can come and bulldoze your house and take the gas and not pay you a dime.
I'll have that.
Yeah,
Thank
I think-
you
I
very
think
much.
we'll have
Oh
that.
no, it's owned by the province.
yeah, yeah. As long as they give the premier money, it doesn't matter. It's so fucked up.
I was at work every day of my life, and I've always had this fear that they're going to decide to put a huge highway in my backyard.
Yeah.
Because I've got like what's it called, an easement for the power lines.
Oh, right.
So I've always just been worried that they're going to be like, oh, well, it's an easement, so we're going to put
A
I
road
don't know,
here.
one of those transformers here, or like some hideous industrial thing in the middle
Right.
of my countryside back paddock. And they've just said that they're going to build a highway. They're extending the Bruce Highway or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know for a fact that it's going to be in my backyard. So I had a client come in, and I was just having a chit chat, and I was like, so what do you do? And she was like, oh, I'm a town planner for my jurisdiction. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Are they putting a highway at my house? She's like, no, they might lower the speed limit of your road. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
I don't care about that. I'm
I
still
don't care
going to
about that.
speed.
I was just you can't hear. It is, at home in Canada, the speed limit is a guide. You go around that speed limit. Like if it's 110, you might do, well, everyone other than me does like 120. I
Yeah.
would do 100, maybe 115, but usually I just go to speed limit now that I've lived here for so long. Here it's the speed limit.
I
if you're
go
more than
generally
3
1.5
kilometers
times the speed limit is my rule. So if it's 110, I'll do 170. Seems
like
reasonable.
here, if you're 3 kilometers over, you get fined and you lose like 3 points. It's so ridiculous, and to the point where all the speedometers in cars have now shown, like it says that you're going faster than what you are. So if the speed limit's 60 and you're going 60 according to your speedometer, you're probably going 57.
Oh man,
So
that sucks.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. I find, one thing that just happened yesterday, that Prime Minister of New Zealand quit.
Yeah.
Jacinda. And I'll tell you what, I fucking hated her. So I'm glad she quit.
Oh, I was indifferent.
Absolutely hated her. Because she reminded
show
me
me-
of Trudeau. They're just like the same. They pretend,
very
they
liberal.
were so big-hearted, we're so this, that. But they're just fucking tyrants. I hate people who pretend that they're big-hearted and then just continue to try to divide the population, make everyone hate a minority. Hate gun owners, hate conservatives, hate this, hate that. Fuck off. I'm glad she's gone. I wish Trudeau would retire.
The only thing, well, maybe, and maybe some positive change will come out of it, because I'm really hoping that I think they're legalizing weed in New Zealand, and that
Is
just
it not
makes a
legal in
step closer.
Australia?
No.
I read a book called
It's the same-
Dopeland, and Australia has huge dope culture.
Well, in certain areas, but it carries the same sentence as if you were snorting crack coke or smoking crack cocaine or smoking,
Yeah, well,
a crack pipe in front of the police station. Like it's.
I mean, once you own your own business, who gives a fuck? It's not like you have to be hired.
Well, no, but
Let me see. Do I have a criminal record? Yes, I do. Hired anyway. I own it.
No, I know, but it's hard to run a business from prison. And
No, you wouldn't go to
Like,
jail.
'cause you
for
go to
smoking.
jail.
You don't go to jail
You
for
go to
smoking
jail.
crack. It's a misdemeanor. It's not like you're selling it. Selling crack,
Well,
you
no,
get in
but
trouble.
here it's
Smoking
so
crack,
different.
it's just like they don't even go to jail. They just I'm sure they just get a ticket. In Canada, they're now
Well,
legalizing hard drugs. So,
I
crack,
know. I
meth.
saw that.
And there's a
Yeah.
guy who's starting a meth and heroin store in Vancouver.
Oh my
and
gosh.
and like already our government is so soft on crime. And I'm not, look, if you get caught smoking pot, I don't care at all. But if you get caught selling meth or selling heroin, you're kind of a bag of shit. Like you're one of the people fucking up society and making all the cities look like they've been overrun by fucking zombies. I don't know if that's a problem there, but here, like our cities, there's people just like overdosing on the sidewalks. They can't even stand up. They're leaning on benches. They're asleep in garbage cans. It's disgusting. I feel terrible for them, right? Because all these people got addicted because they got free government money for 2 years and nothing to do, and they spent it on drugs, and it made them worse. And then, and the rules for drug dealers, they get arrested, and then they're back out on the street immediately, like bail instantly. Even for violent crime, they're letting people back out on the street immediately.
Yeah.
But
no, I don't.
All
think
this shit
I'm
is
a big
happening.
Fan of the hard drugs.
No, and we have this government that's so fucking liberal and so soft that, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend like just regular liberal people, but this is so ridiculous and so extreme that they're saying that the criminals are the victims. He sells drugs because he's a victim of, I don't know, colonization or a victim of racialization or whatever the fuck. So all their appointed judges are letting these people out of jail immediately. And the people they're hurting, like, even in violent crimes, like there's a guy who pushes people in front of the subway in Toronto, and one guy, he slit his throat in the, this was in Calgary. This guy slit a guy's throat, in the subway, and they let the guy out on bail because he was a victim of colonization, because he must have been indigenous or whatever. And on the other hand, they're making new rules about like hunting rifles that if you own one, it's a federal offense. You're like, what the fuck, man? Like, these are people who have always followed the law, and like, they're not lunatics. They're just normal people who hunt or shoot for a hobby or whatever. And now they're criminals, and the criminals are not criminals. We live in a fucking upside down land. It's like Bizarro World and Superman.
We live in the upside down.
Yeah.
Have you watched any good movies?
Actually,
I know
yes,
that
I
Avatar
did.
was not one of them.
No, I saw 2 really good ones. I think you'd like both of them. So I saw Glass Onion. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's on Netflix. No, it's not. No.
Oh,
it's
it's Knives Out though, wasn't it?
So I saw Glass Onion first, and I really liked it. I thought it was really clever, and I liked that it wasn't just like a straight up like all the liberal people are good guys and all the conservative people are bad guys. It was like everybody's a bad guy, and I loved it, and I loved the detective in it. But then I went back and watched Knives Out, and it's really good. I really enjoyed that too.
Oh, really? I couldn't stand it. I thought it was the most boring movie of all time.
It might be a little boring. What I've done, you see, is I put a TV down in front of our treadmill to try and encourage me to walk on the treadmill. So Chrissy gave me the TV for Christmas, and
nice.
Yeah, so I'm watching movies when I'm down there. It's the only way.
I watched Bullet Train recently. It started out slow. It turned out to be a good movie. I liked it.
That's on my to-do list, my to-watch list.
Yeah.
You know what I heard is hilariously bad?
What's that?
Velma. I don't know if you heard about
I've not
this.
even heard. Oh, is that from Scooby-Doo or something?
So, Mindy, what's her name? Mindy Kaling, or Kelly from The Office. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Netflix obviously gave her, or no, HBO Max or somebody gave her, hey, let's make a cartoon. You make it. We've got the IP from Scooby-Doo. We bought the IP. So you think they just made another cute retelling of Scooby-Doo that everybody would enjoy? No.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. What they did is Velma is a person of color now. And Fred, the white guy, he's the bad guy. He's the rapist.
Hold on. Yeah. Keep talking.
There's no Scooby-Doo. They took the dog out of the show, because I guess I guess they wanted to hit a more serious note about the hardships of being a person of color who's only a quadruple multimillionaire compared to
and a cartoon.
the rest of us. In the cartoon version, yeah. So the main character seems to be insufferable, Velma, and it's just like another of these woke diatribes. Remember when Seth Rogen made that Christmas movie with what's her name, about the female elf who wants to be Santa, the Jewish elf who wants to be Santa Claus. Anyway, it's just one of these things where like it's fine if you want to change whatever color, race of characters. But I have no tolerance for these woke diatribes. I think none of the jokes hit. They're not funny anymore. It's just stupid. Anyway, Velma's on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's like 7% or something. It's pretty bad.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean,
I'm not alone in this thought.
Just a bad movie. Yeah.
The
other thing that I've totally binged is Wednesday. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's really good. So it looks like it's made for kids, but it's actually like really, really good. It's about Wednesday Addams. So.
Oh, okay. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Did you know? Really so good. I found at Sally's house when we were cleaning it out, the Sally house. This was our cousin who passed away.
Really, it was the Sally house. Like it kind of looked like that. Actually, we should have borrowed Chantel's ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah. Anyway, I found all the original books by the cartoonist who did the Addams Family.
Oh yeah.
And they're quite interesting when you go in, because some of them you would never ever in a million years get away with now, right? Like one of the recurring characters in his cartoon books are these witch doctors.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the way they're drawn,
heads or something.
Yeah, exactly. And the way they're drawn is pretty. I mean, it's a little bit racist. But it's quite incredible to see, like this, just the way things have changed. But I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, I do know, because so at work today, a friend of mine, his dad got sick in the Dominican Republic. He just had his pacemaker started acting up.
And did he go to the hospital and they said you've got
he didn't go. He was at a resort,
and they said, which doctor would you like? And they're like, no, just a regular doctor.
This is like my joke. So he's telling me he went to the resort and they were like, is there a medical professional who can see me about my pacemaker? And they were all looking like, we don't even know what a pacemaker is. And so they got this, in the end, they got this,
drum
they
line.
called her a doctor, but she was like, he said she was probably still in high school, like 16 years old, to come. And she had no idea what she was doing. So they sent her home. But when they were telling me the story, I said, did she show up in like a grass skirt with a bone through her nose? And then I forgot that there were two medical students in the room working with us, and I heard them simultaneously go, it was like, relax.
Where were they? In the Congo?
No, exactly. In Dominican Republic. I said, they're not, it's an off joke. They speak Spanish in the Dominican Republic. They're not witch doctors.
You speak Spanish?
I was thinking of the Caribbean. I was thinking of the lady in Pirates of the Caribbean, Just throws the bones. Calypso.
Yeah, what was her? Yeah, Calypso. Yeah.
She's a good looking lady too. I'll tell you, she looked dirty, but I would have gone for that. She's a good looking lady. Bad teeth. That's okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that was makeup.
There's something wrong with him heart.
Him heart.
Him heart belong to the sea. No, it's a pacemaker and it's tripping up. In my head, the scenario was hilarious. I think I'm probably.
It would be really funny if they came in, and they some guy had a cowbell and they're like, doop, 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 doop. You want a pacemaker? Boom. And then the whole drum line comes and they put the
conga
skirts
line
with and the hips and they're like.
Yeah,
I'm
we
cured.
do the,
Please stop the music.
we put you inside this rhythm. We put you inside this rhythm. Yeah, so I was thinking I'm probably going to accrue another political correctness complaint based on my bone through her nose joke. But
yeah.
but a story I have not told Mom. I haven't even told Chrissy. So I've had a really hard time at work. It's been constant, and I've been up all night. Every night I'm on call, I'm in all night. And we had a guy quit in the summer, and it's just been like nonstop work. All I do is I wake up and work, and then I get home and work, and then I go to bed, and I get called in, and I work more.
Fun.
Same thing every day. So I'm like basically having a mental breakdown, I suppose, because I'm just burnt out. And then in the middle of all this, they came to me. The chief technologist came to me and said, I don't want to be the person who has to tell you this, because I've been really grumpy at work. I've just been like, fuck, don't leave me alone, please. She said, I don't want to be the person to tell you this. I said, what? She said, the province received a official languages complaint because your French that you spoke to a patient wasn't good enough. So you're going to have to fill in your response to this complaint, and I think it's just a slap on the wrist. I don't know what the consequences can be, but it might mean that, you have to go for French training or something. Said,
oh my gosh.
Whatever. I spoke French to the patient the whole time. Il y a un petit picou maintenant pour geler le pot. My French is not that terrible, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
I'm one of four.
Did you remove the clot
one
from
of four.
the patient's brain?
I removed le clot from le jambe, and she can now marcher. So what the fuck? Anyway, she
People
still filed a
fucking
fucking
stupid.
complaint. I was so fucking mad.
Well,
I'll
put
tell
the
you,
clot back.
because I came in at night.
Tell her to come
to do it.
Tell her to come back.
Yeah,
She can.
tell her to come in.
You'll
I'll put her
refund
clot
her
back
no
in her
money,
leg.
and you'll put the clot back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll refund the
She
free
can go
service that she
fuck
got.
herself.
I went in. I drove in. I probably spent $25 in gas. I got paid about $50 for the procedure, and I was up all night doing it. And I got fucking complained about because mon français ce n'est pas très bien. I'm sorry. There are 4 of us in the whole fucking province. So fuck off with this. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would literally
so
say
that's
that
what
in the
they said.
response.
That's what I said in my response. I said, I'm one of 4 people who offer this service. So if my French isn't good enough, I'm happy to find another province. And you can explain. I said you can explain to the Telegraph Journal and the CBC News why they lost another interventionist. Because I'm not going to. That's your problem. I'll just direct them to you. Anyway, that was my response.
Fun.
I'm waiting to find out what happens. But fuck,
Oh,
it
fuck
was.
it. Who gives
I don't
a
think.
shit?
I think it is literally like a slap on the wrist. I think they have no power. They can just make recommendations. I mean, what the fuck? I tried. I did my best. That's.
Was it at an English hospital or a
Yes,
French
English hospital, fully Anglophone hospital.
Oh.
That we accommodated this person
Yeah.
because we were the only doctors available.
Yeah.
Yeah. So official languages complaint. Also, the nurse
That's fine. She can
who
go
I
to
was
the
working
French,
with,
She can go to the French hospital next
nurse
time.
I was working with, is French and spoke French the whole time.
Oh.
There was more French
Oh, well.
in that room than there is in the rest of our city.
my
It was
gosh.
still got
that's
the
right.
complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
People
so
be
that's
tripping.
been good.
Was she an old lady or was she like a woke
No, not old enough to
type?
not old enough to be wise, obviously, I would say. Like, she was wise enough not to complain while we were doing the procedure because I just would have walked out.
Yeah.
I'd have been
Oh my
like,
gosh.
oh, ma français, ce n'est pas très bien. Au revoir. Bonne chance.
Au revoir.
Leave her the device to close the artery. Here, you take this. Good luck. Good luck getting out of here alive. Anyway, sorry about the dogs.
Yeah.
They're outside. I think
I can't.
I'm glad we're doing the podcast because it means Chrissy has to shovel.
Oh,
shovel.
has it been snowing there?
Yeah, we got a lot of snow. I'm gonna
It's
go.
so hot.
Maybe you can post this tonight, and then I can go tomorrow to. I got to go up to the camp and I can listen to it in the car. That'd be good.
Marry me them.
Marry me them. Marry me they. Talking about Dominican Republic, it reminded me of. Did we ever talk about my story from the Dominican Republic? No, we didn't. I don't think so. Not on this podcast.
No, I didn't.
So
No.
I've been there twice, and the first time we went, it was like I was in my third year of my residency, and it used to be really cheap. There was a direct flight from Halifax to Dominican Republic, and you could go flight, all-inclusive hotel, 1 week. It was less
Is the
than
Dominican
$2,000.
where the U.S. does not trade with, or no, that's Cuba.
No, that's Cuba.
Never mind.
That's Cuba. So it was less than $2,000 to stay there for a week for both of us. It was really, really cheap. Now you got what you paid for. It wasn't like the old days, the Jolly Roger. It was
Yeah.
It was a limited hotel experience, and I used to bring granola bars and toilet paper, and so I wouldn't get sick.
Right.
But
that's all
we
you
had a
would
great
eat?
time. I would eat eggs
toilet
and stuff.
paper?
I just wouldn't eat toilet paper. No, I used the toilet paper to distill it into liquor that I could drink. You can make toilet paper vodka because toilet paper is cellulose, right? And cellulose is basically just a bunch of sugars all linked in a chain. Anyway, that's all beside the point.
Doesn't taste sweet when I eat it.
Well, it's bland, but that's what my ass likes. I don't want the spicy Cajun toilet paper. Anyway, so the first time we went down there, we had a great time. There was an earthquake, though, where it was like, it almost sounded like guns going off. It was like bang, 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 but 3 in a row.
Could have been both.
And the whole hotel shook. And then that was it. You know, it was nothing else. So the next year, we went back. Now, this was my 4th year going into 5th year, and 5th year is like your exam year. And I brought all my books. Oh, my God. I might have even been in my 5th year. I probably was, because I brought like an entire suitcase full of books, and I studied the whole time. I hated it. I basically sat by a swimming pool studying morning till night. And the last day, Chrissy was like, you need to relax. Like, we need to do something to relax you because you've been studying since we got here. I said, okay. She said, let's have a margarita. Let's go to the swim up bar, put your books down. Let's go have a margarita. Okay. So I went to the swim up bar, had a margarita. Felt a little tremor in the swimming pool, like another earthquake.
From your patoot? Oh.
No. It was just the real, like a little tremor, a little earthquake. And didn't think much of it because we'd been there for an earthquake before. And the bartender kind of disappeared for a while, and he came back. And everybody else had kind of left the pool, and it was just Chrissy and I. It was around 4 in the afternoon. And so I had another margarita, and he made it really strong. And then I had another one, and he made it even stronger. And then I was like, Chrissy, I'm fucking really drunk. Like, I'm alarmingly drunk. I gotta go. I didn't know if there were drugs in it or what.
Yeah.
And then we got up to leave the pool, and they closed the bar, and I was like, what the fuck is happening here? So I was absolutely sloshed. And I said, I got to walk the beach or something, dear. I got to walk because I'm going to be sick if I don't sober up. So we went for this walk, and Chrissy was so drunk that there are wild dogs there. They're like, non-domesticated dogs. So this dog with no hair and big tits hanging out of it was walking down the beach, like snarling. And Chrissy approached it and knelt down and started patting this bald, betitted dog that had been breastfeeding, and it was snarling at her. And I was like, Chrissy, don't fucking touch that dog. You're going to get your face bitten off. And she was like, oh, dogs love me. For fuck's sake. This is a nightmare. And I hate being drunk. And I was so drunk, I was like, oh, I'm gonna barf or something. Like, we gotta stop this. I said, do we have water up at the room? Yeah. So I said, let's get up to the room, drink as much water as we can, and hopefully we won't be sick. Because we had to fly out the next morning, right? So we went up to the hotel room, and I drank like a gallon of water and then passed out. This was around, 5:30, 6 o'clock. At 7:30, the phone rang in our hotel room. Like, there are no cell phones down there, but our hotel room phone rang. And I answered it, and hello? And it was Mom. And she said, You have to get to high ground. There's a tsunami coming. I said, oh, what? Who's this? Jake, it's me, your mother. Get to high ground right now. Take a car if you have to. Get to high ground. There's a tsunami. I said, I can't. I said, if it was a tsunami.
Jake's not here, man.
My last thought will be, is it damp? I'm too drunk. So, but then I turned on the news, which was not a good idea. And this was the big Haiti earthquake in Port-au-Prince that buried 400,000 people. And I was a doctor, and I was there, and I thought, oh my God, I have to go volunteer, for the Red Cross to help dig people out of this shit.
I have to change my salutation.
So I stumbled my way down. Even talking about this makes me sick. So I stumbled my way down to the hotel lobby, and I found the concierge, who obviously would be the person to arrange me to go work for the Red Cross for the next 3 months. And I said, "Look, I'm a doctor. I can go volunteer in Haiti. Or do you have a bus going? Because I'll go on the bus.
Do you have a boat?
Is there any way to get there?" And he said, "Sir, you will become part of the problem, not part of the solution." I said, "Yeah, you're probably right." I said, I'm pretty messed up." He said, "I suggest you get some water and go back to bed." Okay, I will. He said, I don't mean to insult you, but as soon as you get off a bus in Haiti, they will rob you. And okay, I'm gonna go back to the room. So we went back to the room. I was miserable all night, sick, hungover, terribly hungover.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, we didn't know if flights were coming in. There were all these military planes coming in. But our little Sunwing jet came in, and we hightailed it for the Dominican airport and flew out. And I didn't feel normal again until the next night when I was back in Halifax. I was the worst.
When you knew you did not have to volunteer in Haiti.
Well, no.
There was no way.
I just mean it was the worst hangover.
Now.
It was the worst hangover I have ever had. I've had some doozies, but that one was so bad.
Well, sometimes
that when I quit drinking, I kept thinking about that trip to encourage myself not to drink. Now I failed.
Sometimes
in my mission.
in those, it happens in Bali a lot here. They'll use, what's the normal type of alcohol, like methanol or
ethanol?
Ethanol.
Yeah,
ethanol
but
is
cut
what they
it
drink.
with.
So methanol.
Yeah,
and people go blind.
Or isopropyl alcohol, like rubbing alcohol. They'll just put anything in to fuck you up.
Yeah. So,
but I think honestly, I think what happened was the guy probably had family in Haiti and just made our drinks so strong that we'd be so drunk that we would leave, because he wanted to get out of there. I'm pretty sure I just drank 2 glasses of tequila, full glasses of pure tequila. I was really fucked up.
Well,
it was the worst feeling.
I find as I go through life that I get really good advice from the most unlikely sources. So in your case, going to Haiti probably was going to be a really bad idea. You were not going to be of very much value. And those words, "Sir, you will become part of the problem." It makes sense for every aspect of anything in my life.
I'm always part of the problem. Half the time,
A relationship with your mother-in-law, "Sir, you will become part of the problem." Yep, you're right. My pool man said when I got him out to show me how to do everything when we first got the pool, and he said, "You know what? If it's not easy, you're not going to do it. Make it as easy as you can possibly make it." And I was like, you know what? That's true with everything else in my life. If it's not easy, I'm probably not going to do it.
He looked you up and down and he said, "You're not going to shock this pool. You're not going to. You need a salt water."
Well, I had a filter pool, and
yeah.
He was showing me how to get the cartridge out and then hose it down. And I had to go down under the deck and do all this stuff. So he's like, cut a hole in the deck. And, you can just pull it up, do that. He's like, "You're right." I won't be doing this.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, did you get a new
good
lawnmower?
advice from unlucky sources. I did. I got a new. Well, Mom got us a new
there you go.
lawnmower.
Is it a ride-on? I guess it has to be, or you'd have
It's
be
a
snake bit.
Right on, right on, right on, right on. It is. It's cheap, but it works. And Erin is thrilled. It's funny because Erin is not a homemaker. Like she is. I did marry my mother in some ways because she is hopeless at cleaning, doing all that sort of stuff. So she's kind of adopted the outside of the house, and I do everything on the inside of the house. Not well, but
which means it also doesn't get done.
No, like I clean the toilets and I clean the floors and I do the dusting and all that sort of stuff because otherwise it just gets gross. But what I don't do is declutter because I'm bad at it. And then what Erin really likes doing is making clutter. So our house looks like a thrift store or like Value Village.
It looks like that antique store in Pugwash that opens only on July 1st. For Canada Day, and everybody goes
crust with needful things,
and it's like needful things. I notice when you guys come home together that Mom's house looks like a refugee camp. There's like splattered like industrial cooking ingredients all over the place. There's just things like clothes piled everywhere, like in the living room.
Erin bought an ice cream maker. Okay, so we were like, oh, our kids are, eating unhealthy food. And
an ice cream
the
maker.
next day, she brought home an ice cream maker. And I said, we just had a discussion about making our healthier choices for our family. And she said, yeah, but now we know what goes into it.
That's not the problem.
It's still sugar and fat.
Preservatives. It's salt, fat, and sugar. That's all that's in ice cream, by the way.
This is so whacked. And now,
I'm sorry, Erin. Were you talking about like numbers? Were you talking about fucking preservatives? I was talking about fat and sugar. What were we talking about yesterday? I'm not worried about them getting lymphoma.
You know what?
I'm worried about them being fat and teased.
And you know what? I didn't clarify. And now that you say that, I'm wondering if that's what she was thinking. She was thinking preservatives.
Yeah, because Erin was like, we got
to
to buy a metal straw because the plastic straws emit fucking fluorocarbons. This was before, and I was like, oh man, Dan's not going to hold up to this. This is,
I used them once, but then they get real gross on the inside.
It's awful. Why? Also, paper straws are bullshit. They're complete bullshit. First of all, they encourage deforestation, which is the actual problem, by the way, with our climate, is that we're cutting down all the fucking trees. And so we're doing that to make paper straws because plastic straws are bad. They make everything taste like a pulp mill. I hate it. I hate them.
It's so gross. It is gross. And I'm sure that they could come up with a cellulose plant-based straw that feels like plastic.
Yeah,
works
you can
like
make corn plastic or whatever. Like the stuff that corn kernels are wrapped in, that cellulose layer.
Yeah,
cellulose. If you just made that thicker and round, it would be adequate for straw. That would be fine.
Well, this swimming, I can't remember his name, but this Australian diver who's a young guy came up with, it's just wheat. So it's like, we harvest the wheat and we get the tops of them, but then the stems are just thrown away. So
turn them into straws.
He harvests those, turns them into straws, and they work. And they don't dissolve in your mouth.
Are you talking about the hollow stems? Like just literally use the stem, or does he process them into the shape of a normal drinking straw?
No, it's just the stem, normal stem.
Now, it wouldn't work for like a milkshake.
No.
This
Thick
isn't a
shakes,
smoothie
probably
straw.
Not so much.
Yeah.
No.
But anything would be better than fucking processed bleached paper that melts in your drink.
We had
huge
floods here not too long ago, and everything was flooded, and you would look at the Brisbane River and there was a crane, like an industrial crane going down the river on a barge, and it ran into bridges and stuff.
Oh wait, I was there for that. Or is this this happened again?
Well, they've had another one. They've had
Okay.
another one. Yeah. So like huge amounts and like people's entire contents of their house flushed into the Brisbane River, which then flushes into Moreton Bay, which then flushes into the ocean.
Yeah.
And Mum
Now, which
Mum
ocean
looks
is
at
it?
me and
Pacific,
goes-
I assume.
Yeah, the Pacific
Yeah.
Ocean. Mum looks at me and goes, "Oh, thank goodness we stopped using plastic straws." Like megatons of garbage and
Well, exactly.
everything that you could imagine.
You know what paper straws are? They're absolute proof that if you convince people that they're doing something that's morally superior, they will put up with anything to claim that they are morally superior. It's like the carbon tax. We're going to make you pay more to go to work. How does that sound? Will it really save the environment? No. You're paying. You just have to pay more. You still have to get to work. You just have to pay more to do
Yeah,
it.
you still have to work.
But then I'll be better
you
than
can't-
the
you
people
can't
who
work
don't
from
pay
home.
more. Yes, you can say you're better than the people who don't pay more. Oh, okay. Great. I'll pay for that.
Yeah.
Great. People are narcissistic fucking idiots. Social media has turned us into a society of morons. The paper straw thing. Let's cut down all the trees and make paper straws so that there are no plastic straws.
Yeah, it sounds much
the
better.
ocean.
I hate trees.
I hate trees.
Fuck the trees.
Should we maybe think about doing this a different way? Because this is kind of no, this is the way. So like JDI or whatever fucking pulp and paper company is making
billions
trillions
of
of dollars selling
from
inferior
from
straws,
paper straws.
and cutting down more trees. Trees which, by the way, absorb a ton of CO2 and prevent flooding and absorb the water and keep the water table stable. Let's cut those down.
Yeah,
because people
don't need 'em.
want to feel a little bit superior to how they feel now. So
it's
that
renewable.
we can give
In
them
20
these
years,
terrible
that
straws.
tree will be back.
Yeah.
That tree will be. I guess. I mean, maybe that's true though. I don't know. But I saw this. I don't know where.
The
I saw
problem
it.
is you need a mature tree versus a small tree. Like there's a huge difference in the amount of, well, first of all, in the amount of carbon incorporation, but in the amount of water that they absorb. If you clear cut and
I saw
replant,
this.
it doesn't absorb as much water for like 40 years.
I'd like to say that I saw it on some documentary, but I'm almost certain I saw it on TikTok. But it was in documentary format, and they were going through like the same size trees, but one was like a planted tree in a paper place, where they plant the trees to reharvest to make the paper, and the other was a tree that had just naturally been growing. And you know how you used to be able to tell the age of a tree by how many rings it had? This just looked like beechweed,
Oh yeah, like a hollow tube.
You cut open a reed.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't
Just like
hollow,
a
but it was just
sponge.
one ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a sponge on the inside, and the other one had a bunch of. So I think they're using genetically modified trees to grow faster, to harvest sooner.
Oh, absolutely. Basically, a tree just needs xylem and phloem. I don't know what those things are, and an apical meristem. I can't. It's been a long time since I actually studied plant biology, but I remember those three things: xylem, phloem, apical meristem,
Bark.
bark. There's also angiosperms and gymnosperms. Don't know which one's which. I think gymnosperms are like evergreens, but that's probably gymnosperm. I don't know. And then there's monocotyledons and dicotyledons in the other group, and that's like what the leaves look like. Actually, this was quite. It was a good part. Good part of my. I enjoyed that. Nobody's feelings got hurt.
So I now work at a veterinary reproductive center, and I've obviously have resigned because it's me. But
you resigned already?
I have.
What?
Yeah, I'm only doing Mondays and half Tuesdays there, so I'm just going to go full time at the other place.
So you aren't home. You're not like, what's the politically correct term? Soon to be unhomed.
No, I'm not going to be uprooted.
Unhomed
that might mean something
individuals.
different here.
Like you can call them the homeless.
But
they don't have homes.
there are things that I've blocked out of my memory since vet school. So we did a reproductive practice in vet school. And what you don't realize is the immense size and
Oh, I know.
distinct purplish reddish color of a dog dick. And it is just horrifying to
The
see.
other thing that I blocked
come-
out is what their cum tastes like.
Oh, gross.
I don't know how I
Oh
forgot.
no. I just do the general medicine there, but another guy
I
has
think
to
we're gonna need 3 or
collect
4
the
more
males.
milliliters.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, so there's a
and
job
they
of
just walk out.
jerking off dogs, basically.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It is beyond. I can't handle it. It's just so gross. They come out and they're still squirting stuff out. Like it's just
Say
so
that's a mixed breed, bull mastiff and Boston Terrier. Don't get a lot of Boston creams out this way.
oh gross. Yeah.
Boston cream.
So
Sick.
that's and was it yesterday, the day before, whatever, at the other clinic that I work at, I was booked in to see their best client. So, the stress was on a little bit. I need to make a good impression. I don't want to piss anybody off or anything like that.
Yeah.
It came in for a sore bum.
Yep.
So I looked at its bum, and it's a really old dog, and it had a big old anal gland that was, huge.
Needed to be popped.
And I think that was the cause of its sore bum. So I did a rectal, and I started to express it. It was coming out. Everything was going great guns. And then this tube of reddish brown liquid feces flowed up my arm. It defied the laws of gravity. And
it found your cuff.
it went right up. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't immediately recognize what was happening. And I was like, oh, what is this? And then I moved my hand, and of course it just slopped onto the ground. And I was like, oh my. And it kept coming and coming
Poor
and
dog.
coming. And it was just awful. And the dog was old, so it wasn't steady on its feet. So it started circling and walking in it. And I was like, oh no, what's happening here? And then it slipped over and it fell into it. And by this time, there's literal shit everywhere on the ground, like every inch of it was walking around. It was starting to get worried. It shook. It was everywhere. And there was a glob the size of the palm of my hand on my chair. I don't even know how it got there. It was incredible in terms of the volume, and how it got there is beyond me. And then we wiped some of it up. I lost it. I was laughing. I was like, oh my gosh, I could not stop. My stomach was hurting. I was like, this is a calamity. What is going on? So then I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's done. I have to do the other side. And I did the other side, and the entire process repeated again. More poop. All over. And this big, the owner was trying to hold him for me so he wouldn't circle. And this big, huge, and again, about the size of my palm, fell onto her besandaled foot. And it was like Birkenstocks. So it went into like
It's in between the toes.
cushy mesh in between the toes. Like it was beyond anything I've experienced before in my life. I've never seen so much poop.
Well, the dog had
in my
essentially probably had, whether it was an anal gland or an anal cancer that you squeezed and expressed and got rid of.
Yeah.
It was obviously had a large bowel
A
obstruction.
backlog.
Yeah.
It had a backlog.
So we do.
Also, I think it might have had exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which would explain how malodorous the poop was, because it smelled like old prawns.
It might have had a GI bleed too.
No, I don't
Sometimes
know.
that's what blood shit smells like. It smells terrible. Like
it was
pepperoni
beyond. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the worst. It was the worst experience, but we all laughed, so the client was happy. But it was just like, and then then she was apologizing. I was like, please don't apologize. Like this is my life. I did this. And we were like, I don't have another room. It's just a teeny tiny clinic. So it's just one room. So we're sitting in the stinky room, and I was like, I'm sorry about the smell. And she's like, no, I'm sorry. And I was like, nah, don't worry. It just smells like money to me.
Well, we do.
I couldn't.
Oh, sorry.
Couldn't believe it.
As you know, we do, one of our jobs I do is colonic stenting for colon cancer and for diverticulitis, right? So when people get either diverticulitis and their colon gets inflamed and basically shuts, or they have a colon cancer and they, and for whatever reason, the people who are scoping are on salary and don't want to do the case, they send them to us. And what I've learned to do now is I put a Foley catheter like that you would put in somebody's bladder. I put it in their ass.
Oh, yeah.
I cut the end of it, and I put a sheath through it, and then I put the Foley in the ass, with lube and everything. But then I inflate the Foley balloon really high, so it's so big that you can't easily poop it out. And then I work through the sheath that's in the Foley, so that I don't have to have direct contact
everywhere.
with the ass. But I learned this the hard way because I stented open a bowel obstruction that had been obstructed for probably a week. And a turd mountain exploded out of this poor person and grew on the table. And I was watching it and hearing it. And it sounded like a bill counter at the bank. Have you ever heard the... That's what it sounded like. And the person was like, they're sedated, right? And it just keeps coming out. And I was like, what the fuck do I do? And it built this big pile, like a big triangular pile. And then it slopped over and fell down on the floor, and it kept coming out. And then, it stopped. And I was like, oh God, it smelled so bad. I was like, I was trying to barf. And the nurses were all turned away, like they laughed essentially. And I was trying not to say anything that would like embarrass the patient later if they remembered.
Yeah.
And then the patient went, oh, and then it started again.
What do they do with all of that? Like, do they just wipe it away and you keep going?
We brought the garbage can over, and I used like...
We all barfed into it.
No. I used some of the like towel clips that I had for holding all the drapes together, and I took towels in them and I pushed the poop pile into the garbage can. And then afterwards we called housekeeping, and I was like, I'm not going back in there. I can't go back in there. It was so fucking gross. So the Foley thing works, but what you have to do is you have to tell the people on the floor, don't, like, it's a Foley, you just have to like deflate the balloon and take it out, but don't do it
don't just
until
pull it
they're
out.
Ready to go to the bathroom. Like, if they can get to the bathroom, then take it out. Because if they're not ready to go to the bathroom and you deflate the Foley, it's coming, whether you're ready or not. It's shocking how much shit you can build up. It's shocking.
No. Well, I once went to, so you know how I hate pooping in public toilets.
Yeah.
I went to visit someone at their university while I was still at at home. Right. And I stayed with them for 5 days. But they were staying in a dorm, and I refused to go to the toilet. Well, at day 5, it was, this is happening. It's happening now. And I went, and it was so much poop that it broke off and kept going, and then touched my ass from the toilet.
It went from touching cloth to touching cloth on the other side.
It was incredible.
God. That's yeah.
And that's when my gut issues started.
Well, when I used to have the opposite. I had the shits from the time I was 18, or basically from when I went to university until now, present day. But I kind of got it under control. But for a while at university, I had the shits all the time. Like, I guess it was just irritable bowel or whatever. But I was trying, always on the hunt for food that would constipate me. And I went, like, the whole way through university, I never found anything that would work. And then I went to medical school, and I lived down the road from a Great Canadian Bagel. And Mom was like, bagels are really healthy, she said. Bagels and cream cheese are really healthy for you. That was her thinking. So we went to Great Canadian Bagel. I'd never ate bagels, really. And she bought me a dozen bagels.
They're healthy.
And Oreo cream cheese with these bagels. And she said, have one for breakfast and then take one to school with you for lunch. Then you don't have to pay money at the cafeteria. Okay. So day 1, I ate 2 bagels. Day 2, I ate 2 bagels. Day 3, I had 3 bagels because I had a bagel for supper too when I got home. And day 4, I realized I hadn't pooped since day 1. And then I stopped eating the bagels. Day 5 and day 6 kind of came and went. Day 7, still no poop. It was day 15 that I was in medical school and I thought, oh, it's happening. Oh, it's God, thank God. I'm going to have to poop. I have to poop so bad. And I was so constipated. I was so bunged up. So I left class. And we had public bathrooms, and I went in. And my friend Joe left class and went in the other one. And Joe was sitting there, and I was sitting there, and I started rocking back and forth because I could feel something had to happen, but it wasn't happening. And this poop, the size of a small marble, dropped out of my ass. It was probably the density of a dying star, and it dropped in, and it went like that. And Joe said, "Oh God, you're so lucky." I said, "Have you been eating a Great Canadian Bagel?" He's like, "Yes." I said, "Never again. I'm never eating another bagel." That was I had to poop so bad, and that was all I got out. It was just like a little stone, like a little rock came out. It was so
those Montreal bagels do be bussin' though, don't they?
Yeah, but the Great Canadian ones are
them.
not that. They're just like fucking thick bread. I don't know. I don't even think the place. I think they went bankrupt. I assume that everybody who ate there couldn't take a shit again, so they ran through the 20 million Canadians who lived here at the time. The most fucked up thing is happening in Canada right now, by the way. We have this government, as you know, the super woke liberal government, and they are, everybody who disagrees with us is racist, and we're very pro-immigration. Most Canadians are pro-immigrant. Like, nobody cares, right? Except that they have set the site. The target is 500,000 people a year. Oh.
That it's not mom's the word.
Mum's just
I know, she just sent me an email that I'm going to lose my job. She just sent me an email that says, Trudeau is coming for your job.
Oh, nice.
Whatever. Thanks, Mom. Mum's the word. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? It was after the constipation thing. Oh, yeah. So
you were ranting about politics.
Yeah, but so he set the site for 500,000 people a year. Last year we took in 440,000. But the thing is, we haven't built a single new hospital. We have no services. There are no houses. Yeah. And he's bringing people in, and there's like a homeless crisis, and there's a healthcare crisis. And who the fuck, what is happening? There's nowhere to put them. There's nowhere to put these people. They're miserable. Everybody who comes here hates it. It used to be a great place.
Do they speak French though?
No, I think they're whatever. Whoever's most likely to vote for the Liberals is who he's going to import into the country. So if they're from the right country,
you're going to have to learn
background or whatever.
You're going to have to learn a third language. I'm afraid. I don't know what language that is.
I would say Arabic, based on who's it's like Syrian people coming and stuff. Because traditionally they're going to vote Liberal, right? Because Liberals are going to increase handouts to new immigrants. So it's a fucked up. It's a mess. Like my friends from Ukraine came and they worked their asses to the bone. So it's not like we're anti-immigration. It's just that a lot of people are coming here with no jobs, no health care, nowhere to work. And our federal service is still working from home because of the pandemic. So we can't get our passports. We can't get our healthcare cards. We can't get anything. Oh, it's a fucking mess. This country is a mess.
It's stupid. It is stupid.
Oh, I just hope he retires.
Well, on that note.
Yeah.
On that note, you don't know what you'd do without your mother.
I don't know what I would do without Mum.
What did she do?
Probably have...
Did she make ice cream in the ice cream maker?
No, she didn't. No, she agrees about the ice cream maker and
Good
why,
news, kids.
why it now
I
sits
made
in the
brown
laundry.
bread ice cream for you.
I did just scrub the floor.
She just did the floors. She's very helpful.
Oh,
Anyway, well,
I know. She used to be helpful here.
I must go. I'm going.
You can tell Mom that. Thanks for convincing me to move back home to be closer to you. I really love it here.
I'm going to go out on my motorcycle now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm going to go snowblow because I didn't take the job in Chattanooga, Tennessee that I wanted. I came home to be with Mom.
Oh.
Who's in Australia.
Well,
Anyway,
Tennessee.
nice.
I don't know. Anyway, have fun, weirdos. We're back for now.
Yeah.
So, there you
Hey,
go.
brother, post this one, would you? I don't think we said anything
I'll do
too
it now.
horrible. Yeah.
No,
We
I'll
didn't
do
say
it now.
anything that'll
I'll
get
do
you in
it.
trouble with your mother-in-law.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on the
You're
list.
already in trouble.
All right.
You're already
Bye,
in the maximum
weirdos.
amount.
Bye.
All right, see you guys.
That's right. Bye. Bye.